I would like to continue the conversation that I have started here regarding the accommodation of the digital nomad, especially the accommodation in Southeast Asia and South America. I have there explained my dislike of online marketplaces for short and mid-term accommodation, such as Airbnb. Today, I would like to talk about accommodation in hotels, the advantages that I have found, and the many reasons why they are, in my humble opinion, a better alternative to Airbnb rentals. If this conversation sounds interesting to you, I will see you on the other side of the theme. If not, I will see you some other time. In April 2021, I decided to relocate where my cost of living will be lower than what it was. At that time, I was living in Japan. I decided to move to Ukraine, and I did what is now called geo-arbitrage. When I left Ukraine a year later, I wanted to go further to pursue a life of freedom, peace, and wisdom. A key component of freedom is money. I have to maintain or increase my income and lower my expenses. It has never been easy. To be able to travel frequently, because I, most of the time, can't stay longer than a couple of months for legal reasons, I had to decide on a budget allocated to accommodation. That budget was and still is 400 euros monthly. For that budget, I know what I want, what I need to be able to keep journeying. Since 2022, I have traveled over 3 continents, a dozen of countries, twice as many cities. My essential needs were the same. They will remain the same in the forthcoming years. That is why I call myself an essentialist nomad. What are those essential needs? 1. A quiet, safe and clean place in a central location of the city under 400 euros. 2. Stable and reliable electricity and internet. 3. Functional workspace. 4. Ventilated rooms. 5. Showers with hot water and pressure. Now, the question is, am I asking for too much? Well, I have found out that to get all of that, it was better for me to deal with professionals, people who are trained and whose only activity is to do what they are paid to do, whatever their business is. This is why using hotels is a better option for me. And we are talking about short and mid-term accommodation, less than 12 months. When I arrive in a new city, it is not only to sleep. I need to spend more time to see if, in the long run, I could see myself relocating. I come, I work, and I hope to thrive. The quality of my initial accommodation will dictate my liking the place or not. All under 400 euros. Hotels follow some sort of standards. Hotel chains tend to maintain a level of consistency. This is their best feature, and I want consistency. I dislike surprises. I arrive, I put my luggage down, and I am able to start working within an hour if I have to. Only once in Asuncion, the hotel from a well-known chain that I specifically chose didn't have the expected amenities, namely an espresso coffee machine. I craved for good coffee in the morning in my room for a couple of days. They didn't have it. It was an exception, not the rule, and of course I was disappointed. In Airbnb rentals, inconsistency is the rule. Check-in time, check-out time, procedures, amenities, services, policies, you name it. In hotels, cleaning is included. It can be done daily. There's always someone to welcome you day and night. They are more than just one option, and they are more flexible. You can change rooms, be reimbursed in some sort of fashion, policies are explained, you don't have to guess. In most hotels where there are professionals, I insist on the word professionals because some hotels are not staffed with professionals. Well, there, people know the city. They know places to go and places to avoid. Most Airbnb hosts don't even know their own neighborhood or don't care to share. Some of them do not even live in the city you are in. But most importantly, drivers of taxis and ride-hailing services such as Uber or Grab know where most hotels are located at. In cities like Macapa, Brazil or Asuncion, Paraguay, where some streets have no name and some buildings have no number, they have a tendency to refuse rides if the place is unknown or not renowned. In Macapa, even with GPS, the taxi driver was unable or even unwilling to find the address provided by Airbnb. In Asuncion, the host didn't even put an address in his listing. He just mentioned the name of his salon and told me to ask the taxi driver. Hotels have names, hotels have addresses, hotels are on all major digital maps. Before leaving Japan, I thought that I could find decent accommodation in most developing countries within 400 euros monthly. It is not that simple and easy. It is tiring, stressful, and time-consuming. The best country to find good places to stay under 13 euros a night is by far, on a constant level, it is by far, in my experience, Thailand. With a hotel room booked, I can land in a new city at 3 o'clock in the morning, like I did once in Istanbul, Turkey. Have someone waiting for me to check in, to talk to, and who could explain the city in a nutshell. With a hotel room booked, I can have people to talk to, if I am so inclined to, between the lobby, the bar, and my room. With a hotel room, I can safely store my luggage if I arrive too early for the check-in. I can order room service and have something to eat if it's available. Or, once again, in cities like Bangkok, walk to any street corner and buy something at a convenience store. Arriving at night is not a problem. You can't arrive at night and expect that type of service in Airbnb rentals. With hotels, I also avoid a lot of unnecessary trouble. I avoid being targeted by strangers and beggars. I avoid changes of mood from the host who does not want to do the cleaning, who wants to change the price, who wants to charge new fees. I avoid what I call, and that's a French word, ménagerie, the host fauna. When the hosts have pens, you know that they come before you. They will bite you, they will jump on you, they will disturb you, they will trigger all sorts of allergic reaction, and that will be your fault. Lastly, I avoid being taxed because of my passport. So, I avoid online marketplaces for short and mid-term stay like the plague. I decide to stay at hotels. They are not perfect. They are not inexpensive. In Europe and North America, they are very expensive. But where options for cheap accommodations are limited, they are my first choice. I insist on the fact that I am on a budget of 400 euros monthly for accommodation. I can surely find shared rooms and youth hostels like I did in La Plata, Argentina. That was my worst experience ever. I don't want to share my privacy with people who are mostly obnoxious, dirty, and without any sort of social intelligence. But I know I can benefit from staying at hotels, especially in Southeast Asia, if I choose alternative locations, if I travel during the low season, if I stay longer, if I book in advance, if I already know someone. Accommodation is the first expense item. It is also the most expensive one for the digital nomad. In that regard, I have lost more than I have won. In our next conversation, we will see if there is a way to do just the opposite. I will talk to you soon.